So I'd like to recommend two books to you that I particularly like. The first one is called The Hate You Give. It's written by Angie Thomas. I was given this as a gift by my daughter, and it was a book I'd heard of, but I hadn't read it, so I was really pleased to receive it. It starts off with the main character, who is called Star. Now, Star lives in a poor neighbourhood in America with her family, but she goes to school in a very well-to-do, posh school. So she has friends from her neighbourhood that's very poor, and she has friends in her much more affluent school. And that is the setting that this family lives in. The story really kicks off when Star is the single witness to a murder, or at least a shooting by a police officer of her friend Khalil. And it's exceptionally it's really well written. I feel that the story flows along fantastically quickly. Lots happens, and actually it gives you, I felt it gave me a really good insight into Star's life. I'd recommend that to anybody to read, although it is quite hard hitting, so not for the faint-hearted. Be prepared for a tough emotional read, but excellent book. The second book I'd like to recommend is by Patrick Ness. It's called The Rest of Us Just Live Here. Patrick Ness is one of my favourite authors. He's written so many books that I love, and each of them is so very different. This one, it actually tells two parallel stories set in the same neighbourhood, but one is the story of kind of aliens and how the cool kids are fighting the aliens and keeping the whole world safe, and the other story, the much more interesting story, and the one that most of the book is dedicated to, tells the story of the ordinary children, the children that don't think of themselves as being the cool kids. They're the other kids, but actually their lives are far more interesting, far more involved. And I read this probably a few years ago when I actually went to see Patrick Ness talk about his books, and this was one that some other people were raving about that I hadn't read. When I read it, I knew why they felt that was their favourite Patrick Ness book. If you just want a really interesting life story of teenagers just trying to survive and get by, this is a great place to start. Okay, hope you enjoy those two.